Rafael Nadal retired.
Hmm.
One of the all-time greats in the world of tennis, the absolute undisputed greatest clay court merchants that ever did it, that ever
Yep.
lived. Yinka, before this man, I used to marvel. We all used to marvel at Gustavo Kirten, the
Yep. The
Brazilian
Brazilian mop head.
skinny, mop haired, lanky, skinny, tallish, clay court specialist. I
Hmm.
don't think Gustavo won more than two at Roland. Was it three? Maybe. But that, for our time, for our generation, that was what it meant to be a clay court legend.
Yeah.
And then Nadal came. I was like, hold my Zobo, hold my beer, hold
Hold
my wine,
everything.
hold everything.
Let me show you how
And
it's done.
Nadal finished with 14 at Roland Garros.
Yeah.
That is insane. That's crazy.
Aki, you know what's more insane?
Yeah.
He only lost 4 games at Roland Garros.
Games. So
As in,
so
he only lost 4 times. One,
so
two, three,
there
four.
was only 4 years that he played and didn't win at Roland. That's what it means.
That's what it means. Nadal played 116 matches at Roland Garros. He only lost 4. One,
It,
two, three, 4. That's a 97% win rate.
it's
See,
insane.
I can forget tennis. That's the greatest dominance or domination. I don't know what the word to use. You are the English guy,
In
right?
any sport.
In anything, in anything that I can think of.
Crazy.
It's crazy. And 3 out of those came when he was injured. The only person that really beat him was that second round loss that he had to. What's that guy's name? I've forgotten.
I don't remember. It was shocking.
It was shocking.
I'm trying to.
That was the only one. Every other one, he wasn't at his best. He was injured. The only one that he lost was that guy's loss. I've forgotten the guy's name. 97% win rate, Aki.
I mean,
it's ridiculous.
When you think about legendary, right? We've seen, like a Bjorn Borg who won, was it 5 times at Wimbledon and 6 in the French or whatever it is, or 6 at Wimbledon, 5, that was crazy. Sampras 6 times at Wimbledon was unheard of, right? Federer ended up winning, I think, 8 times at Wimbledon, and maybe 6 Australian, maybe, and now Joker has won 8 in 8 Australians. These are big numbers. And then one man shows up with 14 in one tournament.
The last time we had this tennis argument, I told you he's my favorite player.
Yes,
right?
He's your favorite. It's not mine, but
he's my favorite player. And we discussed this, went back and forth. The good discussion in tennis is very fluid. Yeah, you can. It could be any of them, right? So I'll give you that. It could be any of them. But there was one guy. There's a guy on Twitter or X, Nadal Prop.
I refuse to call it X.
Same here. Nadal Prop. He had a bunch of tweets. So I'm just gonna read it out. Shout out to Nadal Prop, wherever you are. Yeah, good job with this. So, a couple of things about Nadal that I just thought to bring to people's attention. Nadal had 912 consecutive weeks in the top 10. 912 consecutive weeks top 10. Okay, that's one. 2. Nadal is the youngest player to achieve career Grand Slam, career Golden Slam, and career Grand Slam at 24 years old. So he won Australian Open, Roland Garros, Wimbledon, US Open, and Olympic gold. The youngest, 24 years old.
By 24.
By 24, right? is the only player to be, here it is the only player to be world number one, win multiple Grand Slam, win slams on multiple surfaces, win slams without dropping a set in 3 different decades. Only player. So, you know what the guy did? He did a Venn diagram. You're a mathematician, you know what Venn diagram is. So he did a Venn diagram and he had Pete Sampras, Andre Agassi, everything in 2000s. He had 2010s, he had Andre Murray, Joker, you know.
Yeah.
Then at the bottom, he had Medvedev and Alcaraz. Then in that Venn diagram, that middle guy, he only had Nadal in there. So he's the only player in 3 decades to do that. Another one. His record is just mind-blowing. Just mind-blowing on clay. His record is it's ridiculous, right? Nadal won 63 titles on clay. Now, this is not just Roland Garros. This is across all clay. all clay. He won 63. Guillermo Vilas is next with 49, right?
Wow.
Across board on clay, okay? The matches won on clay in total, his win rate is 91.3%. He won 474 matches. He only lost 45 across all clay tournaments.
All the tournaments. Wow.
All the clay tournaments. Yeah? We talked about the Grand Slams. He had 14. Next is Bjorn Borg with 6. And Gustavo Kuerten that we talked about even had 3.
3. Yeah, I thought he had 3. Yeah. Wow.
His longest win streak on clay was 81 games between 2005 and 2007. Nobody beat him on clay. No one.
Dominance.
The other funny bit is a lot of people say I think they disrespect him kind of by limiting him to clay.
Oh, it's just
Nadal
clay.
Actually won quite a lot on hard court.
No, he won he won everywhere. Yeah.
No, the troublesome one for him was Wimbledon, and I cannot understand why. I hate the timing of Wimbledon. You can't be in a clay court season and tell you to go just play one grass tournament and come back to clay.
What is it? A month later? 3 weeks later?
A month
later?
Like that? Yeah. It's ridiculous. So the only prep you have for Wimbledon is Queens or the other tournaments in Germany.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a shock. Going through a lengthier clay season gets disrupted by 2 tournaments of grass, then you go back to clay, right?
And so, if you think about it, his friend Federer would have already gone out and had a few extra days, after Roland Garros.
Exactly. So he's the only player to have won more than 6 Grand Slams on both hard court and clay court, right?
That's crazy.
Is the only one to have won more than 450 matches on both surfaces. Only one to have won more than 25 titles on both surfaces. No other player has managed to win more than 3 slams on each of both surfaces. Nobody else.
That's crazy.
So that's Nadal.
That's great.
He is I mean,
is one of one. I think you can say that. He's one of one. He's one of one. Because Pete Sampras, towards the end of his career, stopped going to the French. Pete also stopped going to the Australian because he's a quirky dude. He thought the season started too early and he just stopped flying to Australia. But he literally stopped. I think he made the semis once, maybe earlier in his career, Pete Sampras. He just stopped playing the French. Federer won the French once. Federer, but I think it was in the final 3 times, I think. But he won the French once.
But he won it once.
He won. Nadal made him cry, because Federer was at his absolute best and he got blasted in that final.
Nadal beat him 6-love, 6-1.
And he made him cry.
In a Grand Slam final. Forget the surface.
At
6-1, 6-love, 6-love.
Absolute prime.
Absolute prime.
Federer.
I'll rely one more and I'll let us move on.
Go for it.
Nadal has the longest unbeaten streak across all 3 surfaces. At 32 games.
No. So his game is not the most appealing to me. He's your favorite of all time.
It's
Federer is
mine.
my favorite of all time. But I have so much respect for him. I think Federer has so much respect for him. And it's funny because, sometimes when competitors say they're friends, it's really a lie.
Yeah.
And it's just the press. They are actually friends. It's actually
Very good
real.
friends.
It's actually real.